Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So starting off with Euro USD as usual, and we do have a channel break. We're coming back onto the 155 at the moment, but for me at the moment this is pretty much a fairly decent break of the channel, so I would expect some kind of pullback onto structure before moving to the downside again. Oscillators pointing to the downside. I reckon today we've got some more downside coming. The level that should offer some kind of support is going to be down here, and that's at 118.058. If we move down to the hour, we'll see yesterday was pretty much a bit chaotic at the break here. You can see up and down at the break of the channel, then coming on to some structure before going sideways. We're still going sideways, so ideally what we'd like to see is a retest of this break, 118.580. If that fails, then we're looking for a break and retest of 118.444. So one of those two. So in other words, this morning at the European Open, what we're looking for is price either to come up, test there, or alternatively sort of break, come back, test, and then continue to the target to the downside. London breakout strategy may very well be an opportunity here as well at the Open. So look for the first 7 1-hour bars. Something like this, draw in your range, and then you can see I've got the range on my Fibonacci. So the first target would be the 61.8 extension of the range, and then the range target, and then the 261% extension of the range, and then ultimately the 400 extension. So that's kind of what I would be looking at the moment. So pay attention to this opening range. I think that is the one that you want to pay attention to this morning. I suspect we're probably going to have a move to the downside. See how we're hogging the 155 EMA? I suspect we're going to break, come back and test it. We've already got the crossover, and then a continuation to the downside. Nice setup, fairly tight stop. Your stop area for the shorts is 118.580, just above 118.580. US dollar, Japanese yen. So you can see we've got a massive move on the dollar to the upside. We're still sideways as far as I'm concerned. But as I pointed out yesterday, we looked like we were forming some form of a triangle. You can see the continual form of higher lows here. So we did break this trend line here. We'll get that on hour. The important thing for me at the moment, though, is that the oscillators are pointing up, firstly, and then the moving averages are pointing up now as well. So obviously we are in an area where you would expect there to be some resistance. If you just look to the left, look how strong that is. But overall, down, up, rounding bottom, inverse head and shoulders. There's a cup and handle in here. There's all sorts of bullish patterns here. So we look at that. Yesterday was a fairly strong bullish day on the hour. You can see pretty one-way traffic once we cleared the moving averages and broke through this trend line. So I would be waiting for pullbacks. First pullback is all the way down here at 110.078, but I think probably be better off served in dealing with this range the same way that I would suggest you look at the Euro USD. So there's your range. At the moment, wait for the first 7 1-hour bars for the day, and then see what happens. If the range breaks to the downside, not an issue. I'd be waiting down here for a long 110.078. That would just make a lot of sense. You kind of come and test the moving averages as well. If you start breaking to the upside, then stop is below the range, and you're looking for continuation to the upside, and at least a retest of the previous highs, and then you should know the drill by now. Pick the inside tail. There's your next level. So first level is right here. That's 110.42.1, and the next one is 110.600. So those are your levels to the upside. Don't try and chase it further than that. There's way too much going on if you look to the left. British pound, Japanese yen. So we're also in a channel here. Did try and break it yesterday, but that basically just came back onto this level that I gave you, which is 151.536. Fantastic lesson here for you. It's looking like the trend is up. The only time you confirm that the trend is moving to the downside is once you have the retest. So what I mean by that, you can see there's a channel. We broke the channel, so you wait for the retest before you get the confirmation of the move to the downside. The retest didn't happen. It was a fake out. Back into the channel, up onto the moving averages. So this for me at the moment is sideways. You can see, apart from this little squirt down, we are traveling sideways. I'm not interested in it. So not even bothered looking for levels, not worried about the channel, not worried about anything right now, and definitely not worrying about any breakout strategies at the moment. We are sideways, so keep your money in your pocket. And lastly, Euro British Pound. Pretty much a similar picture here. You can see sideways. We did have an attempt at a break to the upside, but then the seller stepped in. Look at the highs there, and the oscillator's making lows. I suspect we're probably going to see some kind of a move to the downside. So there's this pin bar rejection with the diversions. There's just so much going on here. So if you look at the hour, you can see pretty strong move up early in the session, and then the US session we had this meltdown. So we've had a bit of a gap to the upside at the moment. I'm a little bit cautious here, especially with this move here. This could be an exhaustion bar here. So I prefer structured moves, and this is not structured. So there's too much chaos to the left. So this is another one I think I'd rather be sitting on the sideline. So for me, the dollar is the one to pay attention to today. Both the Euro USD and USDJPY Japanese yen are looking fairly interesting for some moves. Pound for me today is kind of just all over the place, so we'll keep our money in our pocket on the pound. But this one is one that I've been paying attention to for quite some time, I think most of you know. And as far as I'm concerned, this trend now, here we've got the final crossover, this downtrend that we've had for so long, let me just do it this way. This downward trend that we've had all year, to me, does look like we may potentially be turning it around. So that was the first attempt, and then it drifted down, and here's the second attempt. So the second attempt lower failed with diversions on the weekly. So I'm paying very close attention to this because I have a feeling we're going to be testing these highs sometime soon. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.